Hello, everybody, and welcome to our team call. Today is July 13th, 2016. It's Brian Jackson's birthday. We're so happy he was born. Yay, Brian Jackson. So I have some things on my heart that I wanted to share with you guys tonight. I have sort of a mixture of, I think part of this is going to be preaching to the choir. But I just had some insight I wanted to share with you, sort of going through this first trimester of my pregnancy and just feeling really wonkadoo. And I think it gave me some insight on how it feels when we take these dips in our business. And I wanted to sort of take responsibility for that, because I think, speed of the leader, speed of the pack, right? Like, we can sense that in our teams when we dip, our teams dip. And I don't think there was anything noticeable or anything bad, but I could kind of sense this, and for a few of you guys, you're so new that you probably didn't sense this. But company-wide, we kind of had a dip in April and May. And for me personally, because that's when I felt the sickest and I kind of disengaged a little. And for me, it took all of June to sort of get that back and kind of get that momentum. And so I wanted to, I don't know if you guys felt that from me or felt that in general, but no, you weren't alone, because it was it was a rough start to the summer. Luckily, I can say that now because we're on an upswing. But I think that it's worth saying, you weren't alone. And I have to take responsibility for my part as a leader and say, I don't think I was as present as I would like to be. We didn't have a team call in June. We didn't do much. And I think that really takes a toll on you guys, because I expect that of myself to offer to the team, and I don't think those things were in place for you. So I'm so sorry. I love you. We're on an upswing, and what we do is yeah, gotcha. The best thing, one of the things I pride myself in being a coach is taking responsibility for the things I do and the things I don't do. So I just kind of wanted to own up to that and say I just felt a little wonky. So when I was making this transition back in June, when I was okay, how do I sort of I felt like I was restarting. I was I got nothing going on. I got no prospects. I don't know how to revive my people. And for me, it kind of came back to my why as a coach and why I started this, and getting back to real basics, which so many of you guys do so well, and maybe even better than me. And when you're a new coach, it is that, because it's that, you have to master the basics. And so it was a real wake-up call for me, and it really got my heart in check in terms of making sure that I wasn't doing this business for my own goals, but I was doing it to help other people, because there was something that was discontented in me, because I was striving after my own accomplishments over how I was helping other people. Now, they go hand in hand, right? If we help other people get what they want, we always get what we want. But for me, that focus was so on my own goals. And I don't know if anybody else feels that. And I think that is such an energy drainer, and it's a time sucker, and it reads to our people when we're not invested in them more than our own goals. And so I kind of just was doing some soul searching. So I have I want to kind of give a little bit of tough love, because we're going to go through and kind of see. I want to just assess where everyone's at. And this is an exercise I did for myself, and I want you guys to go through this. It's called the ABCs of coaching. It's just kind of laying out, where do you stand in your business? And what it's not meant to do is to make you feel bad or to diminish what you've been doing, or for me to call you out. Because I'm not even keeping track, and I'm not going to rate you or do anything. This is for your own personal growth and gain, to say, I have to assess where I'm at now, so that if I want to advance and move forward, I can see the clear gaps and see exactly what action I need to take to move to that next level. So that's kind of the first piece of this call, is we're going to kind of take a look at what an A, B, and a C coach is, and kind of see where you stand. And then the second part of the call, I have something kind of special planned, where I just want to kind of me, I'm a crier, so I'll probably be crying the whole time, but we're kind of going to get back to the heart. And I want you to have pens and papers ready at some point, and I'll tell you when, and I'll give you a few moments. But we're just going to kind of go back into why we started coaching and what feels good about it, so that as we're going through our days, as we're going through our weeks, when it gets hard, we can connect to that and have these things to talk to each other about. So I wanted to say, I don't think Honey's on the call, but I wanted to congratulate Honey because she went diamond on last Thursday. And as you guys saw, she's pregnant, and her and I were going through our pregnancy ickiness right around the same time. And man, that is a real thing. So, but she's back on track. She's feeling good. And then Amy, I know Amy is on the call. Amy hit Success Club All-Star last week, which is a huge deal. That's 12 consecutive months in Success Club. It means she's completely consistent in her business. She shows up for her team. You can see it in her business, in the way she treats people, in the way she runs her challenge groups. And so that's a major accomplishment. So yay, Amy. And we had tons of brand new coaches hit Success Club for the first time. Ray Bailey came into his business, went Emerald, rocked it out. And we're thinking of you, Ray. I don't know if you guys saw, but Ray lost his father. It was very recently. So we've been thinking of you lots and sending you lots of love. And we're happy that you're here tonight and plugging back in. And I think that's it for announcements. So, okay, let me switch over my screen. Okay, can you guys see my screen? I cleaned it up for y'all. It was looking a little scary. Okay, so like I said, we're going to go through the ABCs. This is a little bit of tough love from your Mama Jules. We're going to kind of see and assess where you are and then get on to the heart. So this is the ABCs of coaching is a concept brought in from corporate. And let me just quick check the chat, make sure I'm not missing anything. Okay. Oh, Ellen hit Success Club too, and she was brand new. So congratulations, Ellen. Thank you, Amy, for pointing that out. I can't see all the numbers. Okay. So the ABCs of coaching is a concept from corporate. It's meant, like I said, to assess where you're at, and it's also meant for, those of you who have a team. If you have one person underneath you on your coaching team, you are a leader, you have a team, and you have people that you're, I don't want to say responsible for, but that you're leading. Like, that's the first step of leadership, is signing up a coach. And so this will help you kind of set a standard for what you want to be doing in your business, and also how you mentor and lead your coaches and who you want to spend the most time with. So knowing where you stand helps me figure out how do I best help you. It helps your sponsor, it helps your diamond, and then it also helps you help your coaches, and really kind of, if you're differentiating or deciding who do I spend the most time with, who deserves my attention and time. Obviously you love your whole team equally, but people's actions speak louder than words, so they have to kind of prove themselves for you to spend time with them. So the cool thing is no one is going to decide where you sit. If you're an ABC coach, maybe you think you're an F coach and that's where you've been sitting, and we'll talk about what that means. I'm not going to decide that. I'm not going to put a label on you. I'm not going to predetermine that. This is for your own growth and your own game as a leader. And the cool thing is also you get to start fresh. So seeing where you are and seeing a clear picture of this does not mean that's where you have to stay. It means that you just are looking at it clearly so that you can move forward if you want. The past is behind us. Everything you've done up until now does not matter as a coach. And I cannot hit that home enough, because you guys, I was a coach for 4.5 years before it clicked. And I let that define my coaching career for a very long time, because I said, well, I didn't do the things I wanted to do, and so I'm not worthy of success moving forward. And so I hope that you can really grasp that and understand that what you have done up until this point has no weight or standing moving forward into what you can do. And then I'm going to show you how you can start stepping up and being an A coach. You want to be an A+++ coach. And again, it's not to separate us. It's to just kind of categorize and help you take some of the weight off your shoulders in terms of where you stand. Okay, what else? So be super honest. I ask, I'm not gonna have you write out where you think you are unless there's something compelling that you want to share. But just take a real hard, honest look at yourself and take responsibility for your business and your actions, where you've been maybe doing really well or maybe where you haven't been. And the truth is, you might say, oh, I'm an A coach or I'm a B coach, but maybe your actions are a C coach. And so that's really what determines this, is is getting into that mindset of not only saying this is what I want to do, but these are the things that I'm going to do in order to accomplish it. And I want this to be an uplifting thing. I want it to say like, hey, here's where we are. We're taking this assessment, and then that's how we move forward. So don't let this get you down. Let it just be, struggles and obstacles, and really looking at things like in an honest way is how we move forward. So, okay. So here's what a C coach is. This is someone who is not responsive to the upline's messages. So they never write anyone back. They're not responsive. They're not on any team pages. They're not, basically they're completely disconnected. A C coach is completely unpredictable. You never know if they're going to be in a right frame of mind or a bad frame of mind, if they're going to post on social media, if they're going to show up, you can't really count on them. They're very inconsistent. This is a coach that's not hitting Success Club. This is a coach, you're not attending team calls or listening to recordings, which is not you guys, because here you are. But you're not making the national wake-up call a priority. You're not plugging into team trainings or coach basics or basically doing anything. This is a coach who's negative and who's a drain on their sponsor, who maybe is complaining or blaming their sponsor for their success or their failures. And this is also a coach who's going in and out of active status, maybe not on home direct. Now, not being on home direct, sometimes there are situations that warrant this, but for the most part, being on home direct consistently is a very clear indicator if that you're plugged into your business, because it means you're drinking your Shakeology every single day. You're committed to your business, and you have to be active to be hitting Success Club, to be earning money, to be doing a lot of the things that make the business. So that's not always the most clear indicator, but a lot of times it's the first indicator. When I look through when I comb through our downline or look at that, if you're an inactive coach, you have no skin in the game. So that's what a C coach is. If that's you, if you identify with any of these things, take it, own up to it, praise it. We're going to bless and release it and move forward. So if that is you, go ahead and write that down, or some of the things that maybe you identify with, or you can screenshot this. And I can share these slides too. So that's basically a C coach, pretty non-responsive, pretty negative, unpredictable, not hitting Success Club, not active in the business, not really taking any active part. Okay, here's a B coach. For me, the B coaches are the trickiest because there are people that show potential, but they're not consistent. So this is a coach that hits Success Club, but inconsistently. 1 month they might have 5 points, 1 month they might have 0, 1 month they might have 2, 1 month they might have 4, and 1 month they might have 10. So what's tricky as a leader is seeing someone who does hit Success Club, who's capable of that. We think we need to spend a lot of time with these coaches, taking them from a B coach to an A coach. However, it's all mindset. So if this person doesn't care to make Success Club a top non-negotiable, negotiable, non-negotiable priority, that really shows in their business. So they're very inconsistent with Success Club. This is a coach that's looking for quick gratification in the business. So this isn't someone who sees the long-term picture. They're saying, well, I hit Success Club 3 months in a row, so I should be making more money. I should be doing this. I should have this. They're just looking for kind of a quick gain in the business and just not seeing that big picture. This is someone who asks their upline a lot of questions that they could find themselves. This is someone who's like an FAQ kind of thing, or something they could find in the team page or on YouTube or on Facebook or in our FAQs. They're asking their upline. They're kind of dependent on waiting for an answer from their upline, and not being completely dependent. And I always tell people, I'm like, in the time you took to message me and wait for a reply, you could have found the answer 17 times. So just kind of thinking in that way of they're always being progressive. They're not waiting for an answer from anyone else. You're not depending on anyone else for business ideas, or you are, I'm sorry, that's an A coach. You are depending on other coaches and other groups and training for ideas. You're not someone who's searching YouTube and finding answers and getting creative and creating masterminds, or someone who's kind of waiting for me to give you all the tools, or waiting for someone else to tell you what to do. You're someone who sets unrealistic goals. So this would be someone, say it's 2 months ago before Summit, and I said, hey guys, what's your Summit goal? What rank do you want to be for Summit? Their coach and they say, I want to be a 2-star coach by Summit. They've never hit Success Club. They aren't adding coaches. They're not recruiting. They're not posting on social media, and they want to be a 2-star coach. Like that doesn't align. And I'm all about setting really big, hairy, scary goals, but they have to, like, when they're that unrealistic, there's no action that comes along with that. So if you're someone who's like, I'm going to be a 6-figure income earner in a year, or I'm going to be a Success Club all-star, and you've never hit Success Club before, starting a little bit smaller. There's someone who sets the bar so high that they're setting themselves up to fail. This is someone who's inconsistent on social media. This is such a clear factor to me when a coach either messages me and they're struggling, or I'm thinking of a coach or wondering if I should talk to them, is how inconsistent they are on social media. A lot of times, a person's social media habits are very indicative of their coaching business as a whole. Like, it's a very clear picture. And for myself included, like when I wasn't feeling good, I'd go 4 days without posting. And those were the 4 days that my business dipped and I wasn't inviting and I wasn't doing those things. So it's definitely, not the pot calling the kettle black. Like, I'm guilty of this, and I can recognize that in my business when I'm not posting consistently. Everything, nothing is consistent. So it's like how you do anything is how you do everything, right? Like, if you're not consistent in that, how do we trust you? You're always counting on team call recording. So you're the person that says, will this be recorded? Will this be recorded? Yes, it will be recorded. It's always recorded. Or they're saying, will this be recorded? And then using that as an indicator of whether or not they'll participate. Or they ask for the recording and then they never listen. That's a really key. Like, I can see that happening a lot with people that actually don't end up listening to the calls. This is a coach that's discouraged easily, that lets setbacks get them down very easily. They're discouraged by someone saying no or not hitting their goal. They're not someone who gets up and brushes themselves off easy. This is a person who takes breaks from the business when you're feeling discouraged or frustrated. That is kind of human instinct, is to say, I need to take a step back when things get hard. And it's a real clear indicator of a B coach, because they're not willing to push through that and find a better way. So there's someone who takes frequent breaks, which actually creates more distance in their business and more dissonance, and usually they end up quitting. You talk the talk, you say all of these things and you know what they are, but you're not actually following through on the action. So talking the talk, but not walking the walk. And you're not doing your 4 vital behaviors daily, every single day. You're not being proof the products work, drinking your shake, doing your workouts. You're not recognizing other team members are on our team page. You're not inviting, and you're not doing personal development. And part of that is you disengage from your personally sponsored coaches. You're not giving them the support and the tools and the training they need. So a B coach, like I said, is very tricky, because these are people that are kind of half in, half out. And as a leader, you look at them and say, oh, they might deserve my time because they hit Success Club that one time last May. And so it's a really tricky thing. So if that's where you are, and I think I have to say, if I'm being really honest, there's a chunk of the numbers in our team that are sitting at this place. And I think that it's actually encouraging to me, because it means there's something there. Like, if you've hit Success Club before, you have what it takes. You care enough, you have the work ethic, and for that month you were motivated enough. It's just a mindset switch. So to me, that's actually really exciting that we have a lot of people at this place that we can take you from a B coach to an A coach. But I want you to be really honest. Again, screenshot this if you need to, or write down any points. Where are you being inconsistent? Where are you setting unrealistic goals, getting discouraged, and kind of sitting right in that middle place, which is kind of like purgatory, because you're kind of half in, half out, and you're really not progressing as you could. So that's a B coach. All right, let's talk A coaches, because this is what we're all striving for, right? So this is a coach that hits Success Club every single month, non-negotiable. Like, there is no question, I will do this. Like, I will plan my month so that I hit these goals. This is my goal. Success Club, is true. Like, I think we take the word non-negotiable for granted, but it literally, it's not an option to not hit Success Club for them, because they know it's the one driver that moves them forward. There's someone who's resourceful, who looks for answers by themselves, who finds videos on YouTube, who connects with other coaches, who finds success partners, who makes masterminds, who gets creative, who creates their own challenge groups, who runs their own challenge groups, someone who's just finding the resources on by themselves. You've completed the Coach Basics group and a Push to Emerald group, which we have. Either self-paced or the group that's running now. They've completed that training and they're continuing their education constantly. There's someone who's posting on social media at least 3 times a day. 5 could be overkill, depends on where you're at. Me, 3 is perfect. Consistently posting on social media, being an encourager and inspirer, posting about your fitness, posting about your family. Obviously not all about Beachbody, but they're consistently on Facebook. You're someone who always shows up to the team calls, non-negotiable to learn. You're someone who jumps on the national wake-up calls, who plugs into team training, who makes learning a priority. You're using a daily list or power hour tracking system. So you're not just winging it and saying, oh, what should I work on my Beachbody business today? You're using the business activity checker or some sort of power hour tracking system so that you're getting your vitals done every day. You're someone who sees the big picture. Someone who says, look, I'm hustling my butt off right now and it's not paying off, but man, it's gonna. They have a big why and they're saying, you know what, like this, they have a vision that this is gonna pay off, that the work they're putting in now is gonna pay off. You're doing personal development every single day, getting better, getting your heart muscle stronger, getting your brain stronger, creating better skills, creating better relationships, becoming a better person. You're not someone who's discouraged very easily. So when you have a setback, you say, okay, well, that didn't feel good. I got knocked to my booty, but I'm going to get back up, brush the dirt off, and just keep moving. There's someone who doesn't see failure or struggle as a bad thing. They see it as an opportunity to learn. You're someone who has systems in place for your coaches and team. And luckily, you guys, we have all that. I don't have perfect systems. That's something I'm always working on, but we do have systems. And I know they work because coaches come in and hit Success Club brand new all the time. And it's them that makes the difference. It's their work ethic. So, or maybe you're someone who says, I do want to make a new training for my team, or I want to make my own challenge group guide, or I want to be able to do this kind of getting started right call with my coaches when they join. There's someone who's starting to put those systems in place to create a big, large, ultimately I want you guys to surpass me. I want you to be a 10-star if I'm a 7-star, and you have all your own systems and I'm going to learn from you. So you're starting to implement some of your own systems for your business. And then you're someone who's always implementing the 4 vital behaviors. So simple. You're doing those basic things every single day. So that's kind of to sum it up, that's an A, B, and C coach. And just write down on, if you have a piece of paper, write down where you are. You probably had a pretty clear, like as I went through that list, you probably had a clear idea of where you stand. And then obviously this is what we all want to be striving towards as we progress as coaches so that we're getting better, right? Like we didn't start this business to sit and be kind of mediocre. We did this business so we could make a difference and be impactful and progress like as a person. Like we're not just put on this earth to sit around and do house chores. It doesn't have to be this crazy idea of success. It doesn't have to be $1 million, but we are put on this earth to progress and get better. So I really urge you to take a look at this A coach, take a screenshot of it and say, how can I start taking action every single day to become this sort of coach? Okay, so here's a great kind of guide for you as either as a leader working with your downline or what you can kind of expect from me if you're my personally sponsored coach or from your diamond upline or your star diamond upline. So an A coach, if you were to kind of categorize your people, and maybe this would be a great exercise is to reach out to your personally sponsored coaches and kind of ask them what they think they are without you prejudging. And so you're going to want to be giving 80% of your time. That's a huge chunk of time with your team to those A coaches. And I think so often what we do is we say, oh, the coaches that are doing well, they know what they're doing, they're fine. And we leave them and we spend all this time trying to drag B or C coaches through the mud up to an A. And honestly, the better use of your time is to spend and invest time in your A coaches, developing them, seeing what they need, working with them in tandem, being their success partners, holding them accountable. So 80% of your team time is going to be spent with those A coaches. So then a B coach, you can see this really drastically drops down to 15% of your time. So this might be communicating with them maybe once a week to check in, to say hi, tell them you're there. But I hope that what this does is lets you guys lets you bless and release some of your coaches that say they want to do things that don't show the action, because that's not your fault and that's not your responsibility as much as you love them and you're, you know, I think we feel this responsibility and this weight when someone joins our team that we owe it to them. But if you're giving them what you should and you're doing your job, you can't bring them from a B to an A coach. So really a lot less of your time should be spent on these coaches. And honestly, that sounds so harsh, but it's not serving that coach. So if you're constantly doing one-on-one calls with B and C coaches and trying to like inflate their balloon and trying to get them back up, it drains your energy because you're so hopeful and you're so invested in their goals. And then it also does them a disservice because they're getting your time when they don't deserve it, versus saying, hey, this is what I need from you in order for you to earn this respect and this time and trust with me. And a lot of times if you say that, if you have a loving heart when you say that, I've had to say that to some people, and it's hard because I like them and they're my friends, but I'm like, look, as a business, I can't spend this time doing this with you. And it really, as long as it's in a loving way, I think that it really makes them take a hard look at what they are doing and say, they're using you as a crutch. And they're saying, well, I'm going to talk to Julia once a week and she's going to pump me up, but then no action is being taken. So as a leader, I'm actually doing them a disservice. And C coaches spend very, very little time until they're ready. They're not ready, and you can't drag them through the mud. So communicating with them maybe once a month, checking in, saying hi, if there's anything you can do, and then sort of releasing the outcome of what happens there. So I hope, you know, I had some conversations and some one-on-ones with some of my A coaches this week that talked about that, you know, is how much of a weight this is going to lift off of you if you're someone who has, you know, we have coaches with bigger teams on our team, which is so amazing to see you guys as upcoming leaders, but to kind of take that pressure off of yourself, that we have the tools, we have the training, we have everything they could need to be successful, that you don't have to take that burden on. So I hope that helps. There was a question in the chat box. Let me go to that really quick. Before we move on to that, does anyone have anything any aha moments they want to share about, like, oh shit, like I'm an F coach, or so, you know, like, and here's what I need to do. Like, was there any like big, and you don't have to share where you are, that's private, but were there any like big takeaways in terms of like looking at those bullet points?
Oh, Julia.
Yes.
So, hello everyone. I will totally like throw myself out there because I am like not even a C coach. I'm not even an F. Like, we'll just position me in like the Z group with the zebras. Because here's the deal. Like, I am that person that has to listen to the wake up calls because of my job. I have to listen to them like on my own time because I can't log in at that time. But like I think after one of the texts that you sent me in May, like I just totally like flipped a 180 and I was doing so good. I had so much rhythm. I had so many people that I was like connecting with and everything was going really good. And then all of a sudden June hit and I like had some health issues and just completely like had to like step away from everything for a little bit. I didn't post on Facebook. I didn't do anything. And like literally like the whole month, like I was like sitting there thinking like, this is not what Julia and I talked about. Like, this is not like where I want to be or anything like that. But that self-reflection, like during that time was like, maybe like what I needed to do instead of just trying to keep going through the motions, but not really seeing any results from it. And so like even last night, like, oh, kudos to Amy. Thank you so much for helping me out last night because I was searching through everything and I couldn't find the answer. So she was on. Thank you, Amy. But kind of finding that like energy again is like where I'm at. So again, I'm in the Coach Basics class. Again, I'm like trying to get back to where I was in May. And like for me, as you well know, like I'm totally that person that's like, I'm going to do this, but like Rome was not built in a day. So I'll throw myself out there. I'm a Z right now, but soon to be a C. Again, soon to be an A.
Well, I so appreciate your honesty and your vulnerability. And I think like so many of the things we talked about, like I hope you heard those, like you don't have to judge where you're going to go by where you were. And some part of this business is very emotional, and it's like, and that's where personal development comes in, is so, when, instead of letting those things get you down, how do you use them as fuel? And I think that like, you do have the right mindset, and the fact that you're here, like, it's like, you're right, one step at a time. Like, hey, I'm committing to plugging into to Coach Basics, and I'm going to follow it every day. And I think that like, that's where the magic starts. And so often we say like, oh, well, I'm going to start and I'm going to do all these things amazing. And then you're like, well, shit, like, no, I didn't do anything. And so I think you're so right to you hit that on the head, is like, I'm going to restart Coach Basics, and that's where I'm going to follow through. And then I'm going to go from there. And Nicolette's also coming to Summit, which is a huge commitment, and that's going to blow your mind, and you're going to like be a changed person. So I so appreciate your honesty, and probably a lot of us can relate. And I was like that for like 4 years. So it's okay. And like, look at us now, like, we're doing good, like our team is thriving. You can kind of like rebuild from that. So thank you for being vulnerable. Does anyone have any other like aha moments? Or maybe you're like, I'm so proud, I'm an A coach, and like, I've been really consistent. I don't know, like any other aha moments?
I'll chime in.
Yes.
Well, okay, I'm going to share my biggest down moment in my business, which I'm pretty sure actually, Jules, you might be the only one who knows it. But I do, in complete wholehearted and humble honesty, consider myself an A coach. I've been dove into this business the day I started, and extremely committed, and I have a huge why, and I'm very much a big picture gal. So it was very important to me to build trust in my followers early on, to build strong social media. And I really, to this day, believe that's what's gotten to me the point where I am. However, I got caught up in just busy life back in March and April, and I went on like a week vacation to Hawaii, and I had a stock up of Shakeology, and so I went off HD, and I was going to order like Performance Liner boosts, and my mind was not in the right place, and I had 10 Success Club points and did not have my Shakeology HD, and so I didn't hit Success Club, and I was like 3 months away from All-Star. And that was like, I wouldn't necessarily key it as a aha moment, but it was just, it was devastating. Like, I practically was in tears on the phone with Julia, and I had about 24 hours of a big pity party for myself. And then I picked myself back up and said, screw it, I'm going to start over and square one. And, but the point of that story for me is my business certainly didn't falter because I got right back in the game. And it was all getting back to the basics are a huge foundation for me, because every time that I've ever been inconsistent in my business, the second I'm back to, daily workouts or daily personal development, I have found that my business thrives. But so point being, though I do very much consider myself an A coach, I did have a moment of weakness, I guess you could say.
I cried for you too. I literally cried. Like, I was like, that sucks. But it was amazing to see, and it's amazing, especially at Bailey's age, to learn those lessons of like how do you teach yourself to recover quicker, right? Like, disciplining your disappointment, because you're allowed to feel disappointed. And I told her, I was like, that's a bummer. Like, you don't have to pretend that didn't hurt, because you worked hard for that. However, how long are you going to stay in that place? And I think that that's the question that defines all of us as we kind of navigate this coaching business and life. It's anything you're going to do in life. Like, this is just a skill for your job, your family. Like, how do you learn to bounce back? And you do, like, that's a skill. You get better at it. Like, cause now if that A, you wouldn't let that happen again because you learned from it. But B, when something happens, like, it's like, I've trained myself to I get disappointed every day, and I just go, oh, well. And it's like, you have to put some humor and some love in it, and just be like, so what am I going to do? Dwell on this and just feel like crap for a bunch of days, and then it takes me even more time to get back into it. And I think that was a really good lesson for Bailey. And it was sad, but you're fine,
Well, it very much was. I honestly, since then, have had incredibly successful months. I wrote down new goals exactly that day because I was like, this is not, that was a unfortunate mistake and on my part. And, I've recruited 5 coaches a month since then, and I've felt really confident in my
You're
business.
never going to not be on HD again. Lesson learned. Okay, cool. Well, I'm going to, if we have time at the end, let's share more things if you guys have insight, because this is our team. These are our peeps. This is where we do the bonding and the learning, and you guys learn so much from each other. I don't want to just chirp at you, but I have some, Crystal, let's catch you at the end. I have some questions. I have some emotional music I want to put on, and we're going to kind of walk through. Let me get my music going. 1 second. I wish I could do this all at once so it was cooler. Hold up. So what we're going to do is I'm going to walk you through just 5 questions. So if you have your notebook, and I'm going to do this exercise with you guys, take your time. The question will be up on the screen, and I just want you to just take a couple deep breaths. Let go of your past as a coach. Let go of whatever you wrote down on that paper, whether it was A, B, C, D, E, F, G, all the way down to Z. Let that go, and let's just come back. That's our theme this month, is coming back to the heart of why we do this, what we do, and hearing from coaches on our team brings me, this is the perfect segue. So let me get my cue emotional music. Okay, so just take some deep breaths. Let's just get in our Zen zone. Can you guys hear that? Give me a thumbs up if you can hear the music. Okay. Are we centered? Are we cool? Can we let go of the day? Can we de-stress? Okay. All right. Question number 1. Okay. So write down, why did you initially sign up to be a coach? Basics. Bring it back to the very beginning. When you clicked confirm on that sign up, what were you hoping for?
Great unknown, feet bathing, and there I find you in the mystery, in oceans deep. My faith will stand, and I will call upon your name and keep my eyes above the waves. When oceans rise, my soul will rest in your embrace. For I am yours. You are mine. Your grace abounds in deepest waters. Your sovereign hand will be my guide. Your faith surrounds me. You never fail, and you won't stop now. So I will call upon your name and keep my eyes above the waves. When oceans rise, my soul rests in your hands.
Just take 1 more minute.
You are mine.
Okay, wrap up that one. Pretty cool to just kind of come back to that. Okay. And if you've got to take some more time tonight to write, just leave a little space in your notebook. Okay, question number 2. In your coaching career, how has your life changed? And there's a couple of different like categories if you want to write them out or just kind of free flow it. But like mentally and emotionally from doing personal development, how has your life been altered? How have you changed physically if you've had any transformation or learning about health and nutrition, about Shakeology? How has your life been changed financially? And how have your relationships changed?
And my faith will be made stronger in the presence of my Savior. Spirit, lead me where my trust is without border. Let me walk upon the waters wherever you would call me. Take me deeper than my feet could ever wander, and my faith will be made stronger in the presence.
I don't know if it's the prego hormones, but I'm already a mess, so don't mind me over here, just bawling.
Where my trust is without words, let me walk upon the waters wherever you would call me. Take me deeper than my feet could ever wander, and my faith will be made stronger in the presence of my Savior. Spirit, lead me where my trust is without words. Let me walk upon the waters wherever you call me. Take me deeper than my feet could ever wander, and my faith will be made stronger in the presence of my Savior. Spirit, lead me where my trust is without words. Let me walk upon the waters wherever you call me. Take me deeper than my feet could ever wander, and my faith will be made stronger in the presence of my Savior. Spirit, lead me where my trust is without words. Let me walk upon the waters wherever you call me. Take me deeper than my feet can ever wander, and my faith will be made stronger in the presence of my Savior.
Take just like one more minute.
I call upon your name. Keep my eyes above the
All right, let's move on to the next one.
sun.
I am getting emotional. Your Mama Jules over here. Watch out. Okay, question number 3. And I want you to think about this in a really broad scheme because coaching is not the same to everyone. Just because maybe for one person it's financially, that doesn't mean that's what it is for everyone. It might be this community. It might be just friendships. It might be coming back to personal development. It might be changing your nutrition. But I want you to think about what your life would be like today if you said no to coaching, if you weren't a part of this family. And don't mind me, I'll just be over here crying. What if you would have said no?
You taught the earth and sky to fall. As the sun goes down, you break me out of dust to life. The wilted trust around me, and I will stay. Should the world back before, lift up your name as the darkness flows out. When you hold fast to your heart on the bottom, eyes on everything I will do. Just get me
Oops, thanks, I was muted. Let me talk again. Just over here crying. I was blowing my nose, so I was crying and I didn't want you guys here. So, question number 4, why do you need to make this work? Is it financial reasons? Do you have strain on your family or financial stress? Do you have health issues in your family or in your life? Do you need to build community? Do you need to do this to pay it forward? There could be thousands of different answers, but for you in your life right now, why does this have to be the thing?
When oceans rise, my soul rests in your embrace. For I am yours. You are mine. Your grace abounds in deepest waters. Your sovereign hand will be my guide. My feet may fail, and fear surrounds me. You never fail, and you won't stop now. So I will call upon your name and keep my eyes above the waves. When oceans rise, my soul rests in your embrace. For I am yours, and you are mine, Lord.
All right, take just one more minute and wrap up. Okay, last question. Am I muted? No, I'm not muted. Okay, so this is the most fun. This is like where we start saying, okay, how do I want to feel? What do I want this to do for me? What's the potential? So what does a life by design look like? You're in charge. What does it look like? What does it sound like? What does it taste like? What does it feel like? Like putting yourself in that position of what would my days be like? What would I do? How would I serve? How would I give? How would I feel? What would I do with my time? What fun would I have? All of those things. Like what does that look like for you? And it's so different for every person. So really get down and think about what's a life by design? What does that mean to you? It's like midday, and my feet can and my faith will be made stronger in the presence of my Savior. So I will call upon your name and keep my eyes above the waves. When oceans rise, my soul rests in your embrace. You are all right, just take 30 more seconds. That's kind of a loaded one, so if you need more time later, you can think that through. Okay. A fade out. Oh, I didn't fade it out as good. It just like goes from on to off. It doesn't fade. I was trying to be cool. Okay. Feeling emotional? I know I am. I don't know if it's pregnancy or what. So I hope those are some great things. And if you need to take some more time tonight to kind of think that through and ponder. And I think that it's taking, it's marrying that heart and that feeling of like, this is what I crave, this is what I'm meant for, and marrying it with action, right? Of saying, here's how I step up my game, here's what I do, and that's how I progress, and that's how I'm of service to other people. So, Crystal, without further ado, share with us your thoughts. And then we're kind of at time. Usually I don't like to do longer than this, but if you guys want to stay on, if there's things on your heart you want to talk about or questions or anything, feel free to stay on, and also feel free to leave. I don't want to take up your whole night, but if you're in the game and you want to stay on and chat, I will be here as long as you need me. So, Crystal, did you unmute yourself?
I did.
Okay, hi.
Hi. First of all, thanks for this call.
Great. I'm glad you liked it.
Yeah, totally needed this right now for sure. I just want to say that, like, I'm putting myself out there too, and kind of A, to put myself out there, and then B, for accountability. But if you would have asked me this 6 months ago, I would have told you I was an A coach. And I remember you posted this, Julia, in the team page a few months back. And that's when I realized that I was really a B coach. And that I really have never been consistent with my business. So this call was much needed for me, because lately I've really been more like an F coach. And I've had a lot of personal things going on in my life, and it's not an excuse. But, oh, sorry, my phone's going off. Anyways, I am just really excited to jump back in. I told a bunch of people for accountability already, but I want to jump back in next month full-fledged, and I want to be an A coach, and I'm excited about it. And I appreciate the other people sharing, and I just appreciate the call. So thanks.
Good. And also I hope like the categorizing, like I don't want us to like get too in that and be like, oh, I suck, I'm this. It's just like the way, like, it's just like, just love yourself, give yourself some grace, call it like you see it. And I think you're doing that, Crystal, beautifully, and you're going to move on and be just amazing. So, okay. Anybody have any ahas or anything they want to share? Anything that they feel like, okay, here's how I need to implement this, or questions, or I know, and for some of you guys, you're new, so you know you might not have felt the dip. So I hope that that's still powerful for you to kind of think through those things and think. You know, for me as a new coach, that question of like, what does life by design look like? Like that's what drove me. I was like, these are the things that I want in my life, and like that to me is what got me up every. You know, being clear on that, what I want my days to feel like, is what got me through all the stuff that was hard. And continues to. Tracy, you have a question, babe. What's that? Do you want to type it or do you want to unmute yourself?
I can unmute. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. So this is kind of, I guess, what I texted you the other day a little bit of, I'm definitely not consistent with social media posting in general because I get very self-conscious. I want to start posting things and then I'm like, I start thinking about what the people that I'm friends with on there are going to say, because I feel like to some extent I have very judgy friends. So as much as I am like really trying to get into my personal development now more recently, like even with that, I still, even today I was like, oh, I want to post this. And then I'm like, I'm not going to do that. So I don't know how to get over that.
I think you just have to get over it. That's really like sassy, but like, just you're posting. Like, it doesn't even have to be like, I'm all of a sudden a beach body, you know, like they're like, whoa, what's happened to Tracy? Like, you have to at least post something.
Jules,
Okay.
can I chime in on
Yes,
that?
please do.
So Tracy, I'm super avid in social media. And that's kind of like your question resonates with me. So I've always been like a fairly avid poster. Obviously, it used to be extremely different. But there was always something like tugging at my heart to want to reach more people. I believed I was relatable, like, and this is me getting really vulnerable with a lot of people I don't know here, but I've always been like a curvier girl, and that was a lot of me starting my Beachbody journey. Is I work in entertainment, and I always had issues like accepting the fact that I wouldn't get jobs and gigs because of I was always considered the curvy girl in my industry. And when I started coaching, I had this preconceived notion that I couldn't share like weak moments, or I couldn't share that I was proud of that I am proud of the way because I love my body. I love my curves. I'm very proud of my strength. I prefer to be fit and strong. That for me personally is something I'm very proud of. And the moment when my business spiked is when I started sharing the moments of like, look, I love who I am, and you can either like that or not. That's up to you, but I'm going to share it with the world. I'm going to put it out there. And that, like, I think you'll find a really fulfilling freedom in that, not only for yourself, but for your business. And that really like transformed my life, my worth. I mean, Julia knows I'm very much in this business because of what it did for my confidence and just how I feel about myself. And now it's starting to transform every aspect of my life. But
and it turned into like watching Bailey, and I think, Tracy, this is something that will work for you, is it turned into it being about her posting, and it turned into being about her posting because someone else needed to hear what she had to say. And like, that's a very different idea because it's not about us, right? Like, coaching isn't about us, it's about someone else. And so it's like, how do you kind of suck it up and say, this isn't about me. Like, I am serving a bigger purpose, whatever, in whatever capacity you believe that's true. You know what I mean? And I don't also recommend going cold turkey and like posting things that aren't you. Like, maybe you're really witty and because I know you're witty and sarcastic and kind of sassy. That's going to be how you want to post and how you talk about it. And you could even say that, like, oh man, here I go again on a personal development binge, but I'm loving it. Here's what I'm learning. You know, like it doesn't have to fit this mold of anything anyone else does. Like it has to be Tracy. And that's why we love Tracy, is because you're a sass. Like that's what you know?
Thank you. I love you too. What's funny is I go through these moments of just, I'm going to post what I want to post. And like, even maybe it was earlier this year, end of last year, a friend that I have on Instagram that I haven't talked to in, I don't know, probably 6 months, like sent me a text message out of the blue, like, hey, all your posts about eating and working out and stuff have really motivated me. And I hadn't posted anything in like a month or two in relation to that. And he was like, but I lost, 30 pounds or whatever, because I started playing basketball and this and that. Like, and I was like, oh, that's awesome. And I've had other people say how it like motivates them. So then now in my mind, I'm always like thinking like, well, they're going to see this. And like, so it has to be good. And like, and then I get all.
It doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be real, And I think the next time you're stuck, you just come to the team page and you're like, guys, I'm feeling weird about posting. We'll be like, Tracy, get your ass out there and say something. It doesn't have to be perfect. So I think, and yeah, Tom pointed out, we've got a social media boot camp coming this weekend. That's like pretty chock full of like some great information and how, and because sometimes you guys need specifics, and I know that. And this is an area in my leadership that I'm like, I'm not teaching this well enough. So I think that will really help. So,
right.
Bye, Sydney. Like, yeah, thanks for piping in. Maria had something to say. Maria, I just met a girl named Otter.
Hi, everyone.
Hi.
Well, I thought this was really informative. I'm only 3 weeks in, so I'm really, really new.
Welcome.
So I've been watching what everybody's been posting and seeing things everybody's doing, and just pretty much being a sponge right now, taking everything in so that I can see in what direction that I'm going to go into. I am 4 weeks into my program right now of T25, and I've been posting every day and proud of it because I've been consistent with it for 4 weeks. And I've had a lot of encouragement from Zuli and Amy. And I just look forward to just progressing on and starting my business. But right now it's 3 weeks in, I'm enjoying it. And I just watch everything, read everything everybody's posting, take it in, meal plans, all of this. And I'm learning, I'm educating myself. And I just want to say thanks to everyone.
Yay, we're so glad you're here. And sometimes for those of us that have done this so long, like it's nice to have a fresh face and just be like, okay, so we're doing this thing right, you guys. Like we're in the right place. And when someone like Maria can come in and it's you because you're following the program. We can't make you do that. But then for you to feel like you have a family here, like that's like everything we could ask for. So yay, you've got a great support system and you're killing it, girl. You're getting your workouts in and you're starting with you. Like that's the best thing. Like we can't pour from an empty vessel, right? And like we have to be proof that not that we have to have a perfect body, but we have to be proof that it's working. So
yeah, welcome and thank you for sharing.
Yeah, hi, and we're so glad you're here. Sarah said, I got discouraged with everything being measured by Success Club. When I went Emerald, I still never hit Success Club, so it clouded my excitement, and I think it discouraged me. And that's something, Sarah, that I'm really working on recognizing for other things besides Success Club. I still think it's the very most pivotal piece of our business, and so it's going to be the highlight of that, and that's a hard thing to do. I mean, it's not that hard, but it's a challenging thing for coaches brand new coming in, so that's where most of the credit goes, but I want to make sure that you like going Emerald is a huge deal, and I hope you know that that's a big deal, and you got 2 coaches to join your team, and like that's the first huge step. So I want to make sure that you feel validated in that, and I apologize, and I'm really working on, and I could use suggestions, you guys. I'm just winging this too. So if there are things that you like to be recognized for, like me, I love a party, and I love nothing more than gift giving and recognizing people. So let's maybe make a little list of some other like ways we can talk about, people who are consistent on social media, because it isn't all measured by Success Club. So you're totally right. So bye, Ray. Have a good night. Does anyone have anything else they want to ask or comment or add? I know we're pretty past time. Lindsay, go for it, girl. Can you unmute yourself?
Okay. I will just say that I feel like I'm not even a C coach. I feel like I'm just almost like non-existent coach. And
You're
like,
also brand new. You need to give yourself some grit. Like, you literally just started.
it's one of those things where like when I signed up to actually be a coach, like I was really excited and I was going to jump right in. And then like, I just like hit these slumps where like, you know, I'm really good and I'm excited and I want to do it. And then I just hit this like where I have no motivation to want to do anything, where I get in like my own head and my own mind, and I'm just like, you know, it's just not even like I can't do this. I can't do this. But I know I can. And then like, so last weekend I encouraged and sent out like a message to some family, and found out that 2 of my relatives had signed up with another Beachbody coach just that week and had ordered programs through them. And it was one of those calls where it was like, you know, if I would have just gotten myself out there sooner and let them know, then I could have been their coach. But I haven't done any of the trainings. I haven't done anything because I just haven't. And this week has just been such a, it's very emotional for me because I want this to work so bad. And I'm really ready to just jump in. And you posted that first day on in Coach Basics, and literally I broke down crying because I felt so much conviction, and I still feel it. Like, obviously I'm tearing up right now. And it's like, I want to do this, but sometimes I just don't know if I can, and I just need to give myself a kick in the butt. And listening and being part of this call tonight, like, my brother's sitting out in the room watching something, and I went into the other room just to be by myself to do this because I want to make this work, and I will make this work. And I'm glad that like I see you and I see Bailey posting a lot, and it's really encouraging to kind of see what she does and what she shares. And it kind of gives, you know, I like Maria said, she's like, I'm a sponge, and I just, you know, I want to take it all in. And that's kind of what I feel like I'm doing now. But now I'm ready to just wring out the sponge.
Yes. You're ready. And you already, like, there was something because you said you could have taken the friends and family thing and said, screw this, they already signed up with someone else. But instead you said, I'm going to take responsibility and say, okay, this is an opportunity for growth for me to look and say, they were there and they were hungry and they needed help, and I could have done that. And I'm not going to dwell on that, but I'm going to move forward and not let that happen again. Like, you're already thinking that way. And like Nicole said, like, that's why we're here. Like, because when you feel like, I don't know if I can do this, like, we're going to be like, heck yeah, Lindsay. Like, we're all rooting for you. So thank you for sharing and plugging into Coach Basics. And I love that it's like striking a chord for you. And just don't, like, you literally just signed up. So you have a clean, perfect slate. You're all good. Yeah, Tom says, don't be too hard on yourself. You better listen to Tom. You better listen.
It's true. You're not alone, Lindsay. Like, Julia, how many times did I probably text or call you in the beginning of my business and say, I'm going to quit. I'm not meant for this. Like, but when I love it, like, my heart is so invested in this business. If I ever quit coaching, I would regret it for the rest of my life. But you're not alone. Like, I mean, I'm actually just about to hit my year mark in this business, and Lord knows I've had ups and downs.
Well, and it takes time, right? Like, I feel like watching Bailey, or like watching, like, as Mama Coach Jules watches you guys as you grow, as you're consistent, like, I feel like Bailey is just now finding her stride. Like, and she was amazing always, but like, it takes time. And so I think that it's like that idea of being like, I'm going to learn, I'm going to do one thing at a time, but I'm also going to be in this. In a year, I'm going to be in this business. In 5 years, I will still be here, and like investing in that. So like, there's not a way out, because you will make this work. So it's really cool.
Can I add something?
Please.
So I have been on paper a coach for almost like 2 years, I think my Facebook thing told me Julia had posted. And I'm not an Emerald coach. I haven't put the time and effort into it. It hasn't been up until like really recently, like the past few months. And part of it was because, as I wrote down, I got into this for kind of the wrong reasons. Like, I wanted to help people, but it was really about myself. And it was like the thought of the money, and I hated my job so much. I just wanted out, like, immediately. Like, and it was really like the wrong reasons. I hadn't ever done a at-home workout in my life. And so it's like now I'm coming from not a place of like, I don't want to say desperation, but I'm coming with a more like, I've worked on my personal development a whole lot more, and I have a better understanding of what I want to do and why I want to help people, rather than it being like a like desperation for like, I need to make more money, and I need like, because the money was like a huge motivator for me in the beginning, and that's why it didn't work, because I got discouraged when I wasn't making any money, and then I just kind of gave up anything to do with it, and I just was paying for Shakeology and drinking it every month, and that was it. So just
that's kind of where I'm at now too. Just, I'm like, if I'm getting my workout in and drinking Shakeology, then I'm at least doing that much for myself.
But so, I mean, just make sure you're coming from the right place, because like Julia said, like she was in this 4 years, before it really like clicked, and like I'm in it 2 years, and it's just kind of starting to like really click. Like she said, like it's not about me, and like I need to, it came from a really selfish place to begin with, and now I'm getting out of that. So.
And also that's okay. And it's okay to be motivated by money. Like when we can do things like this and talk about things like this, to have financial goals or to say, I would like to earn money, but without both things to get, like I got in it purely because I was like, I just want to make money and like not have a boss. And you develop those personal development skills. And like, now that's not my why anymore. But for a long time it was. And like, I think that's okay. Like we don't have to beat ourselves up if you got into this, because who doesn't want to not have a boss and like work from home and like live the dream? Like, yeah, we all do. So I think that's okay. Don't beat yourself up on that. Okay, Crystal, you got to go. We love you, Crystal. Okay, well, let's wrap, unless someone is like, has something they just have to share. I don't want to take your guys' night. It's a beautiful summer night. You guys should all be eating watermelon because it's really good this season. Anybody have something magical or not even magical or just
obsession with watermelon right now?
Oh my God, watermelon's my life.
I know, watermelon colors, watermelon food, everything watermelon.
Nature's candy. It's so good. Carla, do you have anything, Mama Carla?
I do, but I don't know if everyone wants to hear it. But
We do. We do want to hear it.
I don't know how to say it without crying.
You can cry. You can totally cry.
I don't know if I can talk.
Okay. We won't make you. If you want to post or if you want to share, we're here for you. Look at that.
Why you just posted it?
What?
But I just posted it on my Facebook, but it has to do with my kids, And I've had 3 babies since I've been a coach. And I often think, like, had I not said yes to becoming a coach, if I'd have any of them. I think every decision we make in life leads to another action happening. I was sharing with Julia and Amy recently. Somebody who was in my life years ago made some really bad decisions in their life, and it's been weighing on me very heavily, because I often wonder, had I not been a part of that person's life, had their life gone down a different path, like you get in a car accident, like you get in a fender bender or something, and you think, gosh, had I left 5 minutes earlier, or if I had not, thrown that load of laundry in, or whatever, and would that accident have happened? So I often think, just like those things that happen to other people, had I not said yes to coaching, I might not have these.
No, but, well, and to give a little backstory, Carla has PCOS, and she was having a really hard time getting pregnant, and she lost a lot of weight and got healthy for her family and added Shakeology and had this nutrition piece come into her life and got healthy and got pregnant. Basically, like she's like, Shakeology's magic. It made me pregnant. And
Like the last two were like really like immaculate conceptions. Like I don't even know how the heck they happened. I mean, you had like 3 kids, a dog, and a cat in your bed. Like it's almost like how the heck?
how does that, right? How does it, John's magic? I don't know, but that's a real
Shakeology, you guys.
if you want lots of babies.
Careful.
Yeah. No, Carla, that's really powerful. And that was the question for me as I started sobbing. I'm like, if I would have said no, like there is no part of my life that is not influenced by what we do. And look at all those babies. She has a lot of babies. What did you say?
I don't think you're pregnant.
You all got no ovaries. Thank you for sharing, Carla. And I hope you don't, that weight doesn't carry with you, because that's not what he did, was not your.
Yeah, it's still
sad. It's very sad. Shakeology and the reset. Yeah, Crystal did the reset and told me she got pregnant right away. So I did the reset and I got pregnant right away. Pregnant
time.
Christine, where's your picture, Christine? We should chat
She's on
because
her PC and she can't get it to work or something, so you can't see her. But
She said, Carla, you've given me hope.
yeah. There's a
Christine,
lot.
the reset, the 21-day reset. It's not easy, but it'll clear you out. Get you.
After I did the reset, my periods are like totally regular. Ever since then.
Tom, you're welcome. On that note, thank you. Look at that sweet baby. Can you put his face up in there so we can see him?
There he is. He's gone bald. Like he's lost all his hair. It's really weird. He's got some patches.
Connor.
But Christine, don't let anybody tell you that. It can happen. So
Yeah.
Okay, we'll talk.
Okay, you guys, thanks for a wonderful call. I did record this for those of you who were, if you need it or you want to share it with your team, I hope you do. And I've got, for the rest of this month, just like some like housekeeping stuff. Next week, we're going to have a team call with my friend Marianne Green. She's an elite coach, 7-star diamond, lives in Denver. She's awesome. Bailey knows her. She's amazing. I don't know what topic she's going to speak on, but whatever she does will be magical. And then the next week, we're all at Summit, so we won't have a team call. And then we'll move back into July and kind of want to get your guys' feel. This month we did 2 team calls because I just kind of wanted to rally us. Happy to do that if we get good engagement. So we'll kind of go back to in August, first Wednesday will be the What is Coaching call. And then the next week we'll probably do some sort of summit recap at some point. I don't know if I want to wait 2 weeks in, but we'll probably have a lot of news and new things to share from Summit. So look for that calendar and yeah, have a great night. I love you guys so much. Thank you for coming on and sharing your hearts. Have a great night. Bye. Oh, and Team Cup. Naomi says Team Cup in August, but I'll get you details later.